Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for this period. You have this wolf card. It says cutting and stealth. You have this envelope. It says unfolding surprise on it, so there could be some sort of surprise that's kind of like developing in your life here. And, obviously that could be good. And we'll see what comes up before I say too much here, Cancer. But you have the Two of Cups in your current general energies. The Two of Cups, of course, can represent love. It can represent a person who's different than your usual type. I feel like this is no communication though. And that does not mean that you're like, that this is like an ex or something like that, right? I just feel that I do feel like this is actually a new person. That could be coming in for you for those of you that want love. And I'm actually getting a lot here, so if you don't want love, there are plenty of other messages that are popping into my head. But if you do want love, I feel that there's no communication, like you've just never really communicated with a person. Or, with the King of Swords sometimes to me represents no communication, just because he does, right? That's it. But Two of Cups says there needs to be communication. There is the Staff of Hermes right here. And the Staff of Hermes is Mercury, which would represent communication. The Two of Cups can also represent communicating with your higher self. So, for all of you, if you want love or not, doesn't matter. I feel that it would be an amazing time to really tap into the energies and kind of like tap into your higher self. You can do this in your dreams, your daydreams. You can do this through meditation or going for a walk, whatever it is that you do. I would just do it and see what kind of messages you receive. And, remember, sometimes messages are very subtle, so you're going to have to pay attention. But, I think that this could be like messages that are guiding you. Your crossing energy is the King of Swords. So this could be that you haven't talked to a person yet. There you go, could be a challenge, right? Obviously, you're going to have to open your mouth and talk, so that would be my first piece of advice. The other thing that I feel like what I mostly feel for you here, Cancer, is that if you are trying to move forward in life, you have the Chariot right next to this, and the Chariot is your card, which is good. But the King of Swords and crossing can just represent not being sure what to do, like not being sure what action to take to get to where you're going with the Chariot. So you could be trying to accomplish something, and the King of Swords is the card of knowledge and wisdom, but kind of in a crossing position it might say that you're not sure what your next step should be. And I'm not sure what your next step should be, so we'll have to see if it comes up. You have the Queen of Wands in the area of what's on your mind. The Queen of Wands is about being very bold, being very assertive, really making something happen. Like she needs to embrace those energies. She also needs to trust herself. Like she has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun, which is basically pointing to her joy, her happiness, her peace. But she has to trust her, feel that her feelings are kind of like guiding her in the right direction, or that what she truly desires is guiding her in the right direction as well. I think sometimes that also, not really a challenge but just something to think about with the Queen of Wands, is that she is my card of learning as you go. So she doesn't necessarily know like what she needs to do to accomplish what she's trying to accomplish, but she'll figure it out as she goes. And I definitely feel that would be a good energy for you to embrace, just like the confidence of being willing to do something without needing to know all the details, right? And so some of you are definitely in that position. In the area of your foundation, you have the Page of Wands, which is very good actually in this situation because it seems to me like you're going on an adventure. And an adventure could be anything. It doesn't have to literally be travel or, moving or anything like that. Could be starting a new relationship or starting a new business or doing something else. And the Page of Wands is very kind of like happy-go-lucky. We're talking about the high vibration version of the Page of Wands. Very happy-go-lucky. He is starting a journey only because he is excited about the journey. That's it. He doesn't need any proof that what he's about to do is going to work. He just is excited and that's it. That's all he needs to get started. So I feel a lot of you need to like follow your excitement here, or move more towards your excitement with the Page of Wands. I feel that would be very beneficial as well. I also feel that some of you could be kind of like on a new journey with the Page of Wands. And I feel, you go up to the Chariot, and so this would be about following your excitement or following your enthusiasm. Next, in the area of your past, this is the energy that you are moving past. You have this Gemini card. It says, speak your truth. It says, choose your words wisely. Remember that your words have consequences. Those could be good consequences though. You have the Soul Family card. It says, prepare to meet those who share a similar frequency level as you. So even though this is showing up in the past, that would basically tell me that you're about to meet your soul family very soon. Or this could just be a person, or it could be multiple people, or, this could be a new company that you go to work for, and maybe you meet a lot of people that you really resonate with. So I would, prepare for that. I definitely do get something about truth here. Like if you are meeting a personal love, not that you would lie. I don't think people necessarily lie when they get into relationships, but I think sometimes we kind of like hide those things about ourselves that we're afraid we're going to be judged for. But those are exactly the things that I would let out up front, because I feel that will be, it's like you might as well get the weird stuff out there up front. Because, it's like if you wait and someone figures it out and they don't like your weirdness, then, you're going to have wasted a bunch of time. I think if you let it all hang out up front, that it will either you meet this person and they accept you for your weirdness, or they don't, right? You have the 10 of Pentacles in the past as well. 10 of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. This doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have it. I always say this is a card of building, leaving a legacy. So you have to put the work in to manifest your 10 of Pentacles. And, I think a lot of you at least can see the things that you want. I always say that 10 of Pentacles is sometimes like your vision of your 10 of Pentacles. Like you have all these ideas of what the perfect life would look like. And so I think a lot of you are kind of like, it's like what it looks like. Let's put it that way. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this card. It says, nothing will come of this situation. And then you have this full moon in Gemini. It says 2 Gemini cards. It says, the answers you need are coming. So I think for a lot of you, you could be getting a lot of answers. The nothing will come of this situation thing is, I feel for a lot of you that you could be leaving something in the past. Because, on the Chariot he has this city behind him and he is leaving the city behind him. He's moving in a new direction. The true story of the Chariot is that he's setting himself apart. He is making himself unique, or he's putting himself in a unique situation so that he can experience something different in life, because everything is the same in the city. And he wants to kind of like see what's out there. And he is trusting that the mysteries of the universe, these 2 sphinxes here, are going to guide him in the right direction because he's in alignment with what he wants. So I feel that you need to stay in alignment. But I also feel that a lot of you are kind of taking more control. He is the card of heart control. Chariot says where there's a will, there's a way. So I feel for a lot of you, the more confident you can be in your journey or your path, the more successful things will become. Next, in the area of your outcome row, you have this balance and compassion card. Yeah, I feel like you need to balance yourself out. Think we all do. A lot of people are getting cards of Justice and Libra cards, so I think we all need to balance ourselves out. The compassion card, I feel, is saying you need to have compassion for yourself. I feel like you need to care for yourself enough. It's kind of funny that you have that 10 of Pentacles in your past here, Cancer, and what's popping into my head is it's like, sometimes I think we want something and then we talk ourselves out of it. We want something important in life, whatever it is. It could be a relationship, a business, maybe we want money, but then we don't feel good enough, and that is not being compassionate to yourself. I think to truly be compassionate to yourself, that you should go for the gold, go for all the good things that you desire, and that is truly caring for yourself. And so I think that's what you need to do. Over the next period, you have the 8 of Swords. It's almost like I feel like you could get ahead of this energy. 8 of Swords is a stuck energy, but it's very easy to overcome the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords says you're only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways of doing things. So I think if you stay open to all the different ways of doing things, you will be much more successful, and so I would be more flexible. And I would also say, trust your intuition. She has this blindfold on and she needs to trust her intuition to see how she can, get ahead or do what she's trying to do. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands can represent conflict or competition. It's kind of funny, because I do feel, yes, that this is conflict or competition in your closest relationships, but I don't think that there will be problems in your relationships. I feel what this is saying is that you might be comparing yourself to your relationships, and we're talking about all relationships. So you might be saying oh, my friends are all very successful in their careers and I'm not. All my friends are married and have children, but I don't. I think the 5 of Wands is saying you need to be careful of comparing yourself to other people. And that's what I'm getting on the Five of Wands, is that really this isn't like a competition that you're going to be experiencing. Or, I don't think this is a challenge other than, maybe it is a mental challenge for you. But, I feel this is something where you need to realize that you're on a journey. And, I think that as long as you kind of continue learning and moving forward, you'll be fine. But I definitely wouldn't compare yourself to other people. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Emperor, which is amazing. This is you. Like, sometimes I think having those feelings can be a good thing, because as long as it motivates us to change, I think as long as we're saying like, oh my God, my best friend just got married and I'm still single and they have children and blah, 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 as long as it's leading to something, I don't have a problem with it. I think stewing in negative energy is the problem. But the good news is you have the Emperor, and the Emperor is all about you taking control and making things happen. So I feel that really you're getting motivated to take control of your life and make the changes necessary to get the things that you want. So I feel really good about this Emperor energy. Like, you could be attracting an Emperor, but I really don't feel like this is a person in your reading. I feel like this is you. I feel like you're embracing the energy of just taking control. Your outcome is you, the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is your card. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and really allows you to get what you want. I also feel like you're much more following your heart with the Queen of Cups. She has this big trophy right here, and that big trophy the big cup, it's supposed to be a cup, but it looks like a trophy, and it kind of represents the fact that she is, following her heart. So I would definitely make sure that you are following your heart at this time. But let's see what we get here, Cancer, and let's see what comes up. With the Two of Cups and the King of Swords, you have the High Priestess. I definitely feel like you need to trust your intuition right now. You have that Eight of Swords again. She has that blindfold on over her eyes. And so if there are challenges, or if you're not moving forward towards something you want in life, could be anything, then I feel your intuition is telling you that you need to kind of like take action. Or, whatever your intuition is saying, your intuition might be telling you to take a specific action, or to learn about something, or whatever it is. I also feel that, again, if you do want love, this is definitely pushing the whole mystery thing. The problem I have with the King of Swords is that it can be you meeting a person, doesn't matter what gender, and they can be very mysterious. There might be a reason for this. Like, maybe you just never have talked to them before or something like that. The High Priestess, mystery, not needing to see behind the curtain. One thing I will say is usually people like, if you have this, what you have here, and the High Priestess, it's like there's more behind the curtain. She has that curtain, the tapestry behind her. This could be bad, but it could also be good. It's like you might only see the external face of this person. It's like you don't see what's on the inside. High Priestess really encourages us to be detectives, encourages us to look into the mystery and find out like what's behind the curtain, right? With the Queen of Wands, you have the Page of Swords. Definitely time to follow your curiosity. With the Page of Wands as well, or I think I said Page of Wands, Page of Swords, sorry. But the Page of Swords wants us to follow our curiosity. The Page of Wands also kind of wants us to follow our curiosity. So, if the Queen of Wands, she is just interested in moving in a direction because she has that sunflower, and so I feel that if you are feeling interested by ideas or different directions or goals or plans or whatever, that, kind of like exploring new ideas or new directions would be very good for you with those cards. With the Page of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. I feel like everybody else, you've been disappointed too many times. I think everybody has experienced this, where it's like we try to do things, try to be successful, try to have love, try to, start a diet, whatever it is, and we just end up disappointing ourselves. And so the Five of Cups says we have to let go of past disappointments and realize that there's new opportunities behind us. Two Cups, you have the Two of Cups right here, so there could be a new love opportunity even, or any type of opportunity that leads to something you actually want. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. See, the Hermit with the Ten of Pentacles is like feeling like you have overcome something, which you probably have. He's been through a dark night of the soul. He's had to find his inner light. And now he's standing at the top of this mountain shining his inner light. But I feel with these two cards together that it's almost like you're saying, where's my reward? It's like, I've overcome these things, now where's the result that I get for the work that I've done? And I guess the good news is that you have very good cards for victory, like the Chariot. So I do feel like there are results that are coming in for you based off of, whatever you've accomplished. With the Chariot, you have the Hierophant, and then we go straight to the Eight of Swords. The Hierophant is inside the box thinking. I would be careful of being, I know you're not a fixed sign, but I just get this energy here where if you have too much of a story of how something needs to work, get rid of the story and just enter into the energy of allowing. There's definitely something here about this reading that is saying like, if you think you're, let's say you're interested in a person and if you tell yourself like, oh, everything has to go this way, they have to take me to this restaurant on our first date, and then they have to be a perfect gentleman or gentle lady. Is there a word for gentleman for ladies? I'm not sure, whatever, it doesn't matter, and they need to do this, and this, none of that's going to happen. They are going to take you to McDonald's, then they're going to drop you off at your home, they're going to say, and they're going to slam the door and take off, right? That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be how you think. So I feel like you need to get rid of those stories because first off, we don't live in a terrible romantic comedy. I don't think I've seen a good one yet, they all just make me lose interest, right? But what I would say here is I think that you need to be flexible in how things go, plain and simple. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is having been disappointed a bunch of times in the past, right? He has these 3 cups in front of him and he's getting this new opportunity. The Four of Cups wants you to realize that you've learned the lessons you needed to learn in the past to accept something new into your life. And again, this doesn't have to be love, this could be anything. And so the Four of Cups always reminds me that we have to kind of like mix our lessons together, and we have to apply them to new situations, and that's how we find success in life. We have to show that we learned, right? With the Five of Wands, you have the Tower. So there, some of you could be experiencing some sort of falling out or something like that with the Five of Wands with a person. Again, I still feel like this is talking about competition. The other thing about this is that you could be realizing the reality, like you could be having a tower moment. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You could be realizing like why you're single or why you don't have a job or why, something is happening. But again, I always say that, to me, the Tower is not a bad card. These people have been ignoring reality, and now they're coming down to reality. So, how bad can it be to come down to reality and see reality for how it actually is, right? And it's like you're seeing the truth. So I feel like you need to realize that if you are experiencing conflict, or if you're feeling conflicted about something, especially with groups of people or people that you work with, this is probably just reality. With the Emperor, you have the Knight of Cups. I mean, sure, you could be attracting an Emperor. Knight of Cups is knight in shining armor, so that definitely could be a person that you're attracting in love. But I still feel the Emperor is your energy. I still feel like you are taking control. I feel like you're motivated to take control because of this right here, and I feel like that is a good thing. But there definitely could be, an Emperor coming in for you. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth. And with the Three of Wands, we have to step into the unknown. I mean, I think I've been saying this to you for a while now, Cancer, that it's definitely a time where you expanding into the unknown, or doing things that you've never done before, is probably going to lead to the most success for you. And so that's what I would do. I would step into the unknown, plain and simple. But I would also be willing to do new things, right? Sure, we'll take all of them. You have this card talking about an important period in the past, and you also have this 4-leaf clover card. I accidentally mentioned a specific time frame in a previous reading I did for you. There's clearly something about a past period that's important for you, Cancer, so I would look back at that time and, just think about, did you have any big experiences? Were you thinking about something specific? Could bring you a lot of luck, so definitely something I would pay attention to. You have the Spirit says heartache over what you no longer have. 5 of Cups. You had the 5 of Cups, the Page of Wands. There's something so much better coming in for you. But I would stop, telling the old story and I would focus on what you want. You have this Barrel. It says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps money, love, money, or goals. So if you feel like something is lacking, then I would just focus on it and bring it into your life, whatever that thing is. I think this is about creating balance or, balancing things out in your life in general. You have 3 cards here. I'm going to pull the first one, which is talking about a coming period of time. I always clarify these timing cards. And then you have this Lily, it says spiritual love. And you have this V card, it says victory in some endeavor. So you definitely could be attracting a person in an upcoming period of time. Kind of makes sense, we have Venus entering into Pisces, which will definitely be good for you as far as love is concerned. Venus will be going retrograde this year as well. Which, I tell people that I think dating during retrogrades is not that big of a deal. Because, number one, if the person's going to make a mistake, they're going to make it during retrogrades. So instead of like having to wait maybe a long time and wasting that time on a person for a mistake that they're going to make anyway, it's like, why not get it over and done with during the retrograde? If a relationship survives a retrograde, then chances are it's going to last a long time. So I think it's better to figure that out up front, right? Instead of wasting a bunch of time on a person where it's not going to go anywhere. But definitely could be a spiritual connection coming in for you. You have this rabbit card. It says too much concern with sexual matters. I would be careful about, like, if you meet people who are like this, or if you have a past person who's like this, I would definitely be careful. But this looks really good, Cancer. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.